and welcome to our website presentation on addictive algorithms. We're going to take a deep dive into how social media platforms are designed to keep us hooked. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Maria.
Yeah, so now let's begin with a simple question. Why is social media so addictive? Well, the answer lies in the math. Social media algorithms or platforms use algorithms or a set of rules and calculations which analyze your behavior and feed you content designed to keep you scrolling. It's a cycle built to engage you as long as possible. Before we get into the technical details, take a moment to explore our first interactive feature on the homepage. You'll find real stories from different users on different platforms, such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. These personal experiences help illustrate the emotional and psychological side of our topic, and you might even recognize yourself in some of them. So, as an example, let's just take a look at this one. The TikTok user says, I deleted TikTok too, but would re-download it intermittently and end up scrolling for hours. Maybe this was you at some point. So, as students who have grown up surrounded by technology, we believe it's important to understand how these systems work and their effects. This is especially relevant for upper level high school students who are some of the most active social media users today. So, as we explore, you'll learn about how social media algorithms function, how they impact mental health, and how we can use these platforms more responsibly.
So this is our history of social media algorithms page. And so over the past 2 decades, social media algorithms have evolved significantly to prioritize user engagement. And so on this page, you'll see an interactive timeline that we made, and it shows how platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube have changed their algorithms over time. And so you'll see the first thing on this timeline is in 2006, where Facebook created its first endless scrolling news feed. And so for each of these events, if you click on the info button, it'll show you a more detailed description on what the event was about. And so for this one specifically, basically, originally Facebook had like their website, it was just a bunch of profiles and pages. And so in 2006, Facebook came up with a way to make posts display in reverse chronological order. So like newest post first and oldest post last. And so you'll see early on in our timeline, you see Facebook does a lot of changes to their algorithms. And then come 2016, both Instagram and TikTok start to become more involved. So in Instagram's case, they basically switched from displaying content chronologically to having a sorting algorithm that basically makes more popular posts show first. And then TikTok is actually launched in 2016, and they basically use the AI algorithms they had in a other news app they had in their company called Tiao. And you'll see YouTube Shorts was released in 2021, and then our most recent event was in 2025, where TikTok made some updates to their algorithms. So they made updates for things like increased personalization. And at the bottom of this page, you'll see all the sources we use to gather information for this timeline. And basically, the purpose of this page is to help users understand how these platforms shifted from chronological feeds to AI-driven personalized content that keeps users engaged.
So, what exactly is a social media algorithm? Well, at its core, it's a set of complex rules used to decide what content shows up on your feed. These rules are influenced by things like what you've shared, liked, and how long you've watched or interacted with certain posts. These algorithms are crucial because they help filter content. Without them, your feed would be flooded with random posts, and finding something interesting would be really difficult.
So on this page, we have a visual example users can scroll through to see how these algorithms work. So first, say you open up TikTok and the first thing that comes up is this dog skateboarding video. Okay, so let's say you watch the full thing, and then basically while you're watching this video, TikTok notes how long you watch the video, what the video is about, and it adjusts your feed. And so in this next case, let's say you like, comment, and share the video with your friends. And so each one of these actions, it sends a strong signal to TikTok's algorithm that this video is really, really interesting to you. And so next, say this makeup video appears in your feed, but then you just immediately scroll past it. And so when TikTok notices how you scrolled past it quickly, it interprets that as disinterest. And so it learns that you're not very interested in beauty related content. And so next, the TikTok algorithm decides to use the information it collected earlier and show you this cute dog video instead. And so you say you watch through the whole video, and then this further reinforces the algorithm's understanding that you really enjoy dog-related videos. And so basically, every action teaches the algorithm, and features like infinite scroll and constant recommendations are designed to keep you on the platform longer. And oftentimes, you'll end up staying scrolling through videos without realizing how much time has passed. And so, to test what you learned from this page, we came up with a crossword puzzle. So we used one scholarly source on this page. It is this one right here from a research journal.
All right, next up, we're going to take a deeper look into the good and the bad side of social media. When we talk about social media and mental health, the conversation often starts with the negatives, such as burnout, anxiety, poor time management, and even depression. And studies do show a strong connection between excessive social media use and mental health challenges, but it's not all bad. Social media has also helped many people find support groups, express themselves creatively, and connect with others. For example, forums like Reddit or communities like Discord provide a sense of belonging for users who might feel isolated in their online lives. How do we make sense of this? Well, the impact of social media often depends on the users. Things like how much time they spend online, their emotional resilience, and the kind of content they're exposed to all play a role. So as you can see on our website, we have listed some healthy social media effects as well as unhealthy social media effects. There are also links that you can click to read more about these sources. And then down here, we talk about two major consequences of algorithms, which are filter bubbles and echo chambers. So just to quickly summarize, filter bubbles occur when algorithms only show you content that matches your past behavior. So that means you might only see one side of an issue and miss out on diverse perspectives. Echo chambers, on the other hand, go even further. They surround you with like-minded voices that simply reinforce your beliefs. This can deepen polarization and reinforce stereotypes, and this may make meaningful discussion difficult. And then we researched about addictive tendencies and behavior. So these social media platforms are engineered to activate the brain's reward system. And so likes, comments, and new videos are triggers. So over time, this feedback loop can rewire how our brains respond to rewards, leading to compulsive scrolling behavior. And lastly, our final section on this page includes an interactive word cloud and surveys that you can fill out and see what other people feel about social media. So here it says, how many hours a week do you spend on social media? So you can take out your phone and actually open up probably settings, and then you can probably see your app usage. And so you can just write that down. I'll say 2. And so it'll populate there. And then you can also say how social media makes you feel. I'll just put an emoji for now. And then here is just a quick survey about your most used social media platform. Additionally, take note that there are 3 scholarly articles and studies that you can read more about by clicking on these links. Here is our first scholarly article. There's one here as well that talks about social media use and its connection to mental health. And then our third one on this page is down here, which goes into teen addiction.
The last page of our website is the recommendations and reflection page. And so scrolling can feel normal, but it often affects our mental health, focus, and well-being, especially for teenagers. And so you'll see we have a quote from a research article here describing how social media can be described as a double-edged sword because it offers both benefits and risks to a person's mental health. And so we have a feature here where you can reflect on your scrolling habits. And this can basically help you take the first step towards realizing what you need to do to build healthier digital habits. So I'm going to click start on this quiz. And so it'll ask you a bunch of questions like how long do you spend scrolling through social media per day? I don't know, maybe in my case, 1 to 2 hours. How long have you ever stayed up late even though you were supposed to go to sleep? I do this often. And so it'll keep asking you a bunch of questions. And so the result I got was this at the edge of the algorithm. So basically, this result means my scrolling habits are okay, but they're a bit on the edge. And so I could be addicted to social media if I keep up at this rate. And so it offers some tips you can do to improve your habits. And speaking of tips, we also have a section below the quiz on your website offering general tips. So Things like setting daily usage limits, creating phone-free zones and times, replacing scrolling with meaningful offline activities, asking yourself why you're opening an app before actually opening it, engaging with diverse content to avoid landing in echo chambers, and also unfollowing and muting content that makes you feel uncomfortable. So these are like some general tips that you could use, and we took them from this source here. And so on this page, we also have some apps that are like digital wellness tools. So this first one, Stay Focused, it's basically an app that helps you limit daily app usage. And also for each of these, there's like a link, so it'll take you to the about page of the app. And so we also have ScreenZen that basically adds friction to app usage. It like gives you like helpful nudges and exercise when you're like using social media too much. There's also the iOS screen time and Android digital well-being features that are on your phone, and they can help you keep track of how long you're using social media. And that could like help you realize how long you're spending scrolling. Last but not least, on this page, we have a bunch of links to mental health services. So links to therapy platforms, hotlines, and also an article for further support.
Okay, so that was our website, and now I'm going to wrap everything up. So in summary, social media addiction is growing tremendously as technology becomes more and more intertwined with the everyday life of countless people. Systems on applications such as TikTok's For You page and Instagram's Reels utilize algorithms that entice users to continue scrolling and scrolling for hours on end. These short videos give instant gratification in order to keep users engaged beyond their initial intent. Adolescents and young users are especially susceptible because their brains are still developing. But with our website, we took a deep dive into addictive social media algorithms in order to explain how they function and the broader ramifications that they have on user behavior and mental health. Thank you.